Hi, my name is Rhonda from Oombawka Design, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this hat. This is the ponytail or knot hat, and there's a bit of a play on words on the knot because you can choose to make this a ponytail hat or you can just make this as a regular hat. This hat itself is a regular hat. I've closed up the back here, so it will work for me because I do not have ponytail hair or bun hair anymore. This hat works up very quickly. You should be able to finish in about 40 minutes. All you need to make it is a 12mm hook. I'm using my Clover & More. And you need 1 ball of the Woolies Thick and Quick yarn. And here's the yarn weight information. So it's 6 ounces or 170 grams for 106 yards or 97 meters. It is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And it's super bulky, so number 6 yarn. Now for this hat, I am going to be showing you how to make it with a different color of the same brand yarn. And to start, what you need to do is grab your hook and your yarn and chain 6. So to begin, we're going to chain 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 stitches. You're going to work a slip stitch in 5 of those stitches. So skip the first one. This one doesn't count. Skip the first one. Work 1 slip stitch into each of those chains across. So you will have 5 slip stitches by the time you get to the other side. Right, so you will want to check that if you're newer to crochet. So you're going to have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1. All right, that counts as row 1. Turn your work. Remember, always turn the same way. It does make a difference on how the edge of your row will look when you're done. And for the first stitch, we're not going to count the chain 1. We're going to work in to this one here. You're going to work under both loops of your slip stitch. They're a little bit pointing away from you, so you need to check that. So you work under both loops. And then for the next 1, 2, 3, you're only going to work under the back loop of the stitch. That one only on each of those. So back loop only. 1, 2, 3. And on the last stitch, you're going to work under both the front and the back loop. So the front loop and the back loop. Can be a little tricky on that first one there. Like so. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn to repeat. Work under both loops for the first one. So slip stitch under both loops, slip stitch under the back loop only for 1, 2, 3, slip stitch under both loops for the last stitch. Gives you a little bit nicer finishing on each of the ends. Chain 1, turn again, and we're just going to keep repeating this until you have 41 rows in total. So under both loops for the first, under the back loop for the next 3, and under both loops. So continue this until you have 41 rows and then pop back because we'll continue from there. Now you have your 41 rows and your project should measure approximately, let's see here, about 15.5 inches. It stretches a lot, so it will fit you, don't worry. And now what you need to do is chain 1 and work 1 single crochet in each row end across, working under 1 loop or in the space at the end of the row only. So that's 3. You're going to do this all the way across to the other edge of the project. 4. After you've completed the 41 single crochets across the top of the project, you need to chain 3. And turn your work. This first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. you're going to work a double crochet in the base of that as well, so in that first single crochet there. So work one additional double crochet. So now you have 2 double crochet stitches. Next, you're going to count over 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to skip all of them. Work a double crochet in the 5th stitch. Work 1 more double crochet. Chain 1 and work 2 more double crochets in the exact same stitch. Now you're going to skip 4 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to work 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 more double crochets in this stitch. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next stitch you're going to do the same thing again, the 2 double crochets, 1 chain 1, and 2 double crochets. We're going to do this all the way across the entire first row. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th. Work your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Now we're nearing the end of the row, so what you need to do is count your 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this 5th one here, you're going to work 2 double crochets. Remember, we did do a chain 1 before we turned at the beginning of the last row, and we're not working into that. So if you want to be sure, you check here for where you're edging. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slip stitches. That's the chain 1, so that one we don't need to work into. So you have your 2 double crochets in the final stitch of the row. Now what you're going to do is bring your ends together. And this is the initial chain 3 you did here at the beginning of this row. You're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain, so to the 3rd chain. And that's going to mimic the look of a chain 1 for this finished stitch so that they all look the same. So we have that now. So next, from here on in, it's pretty easy. You do your chain 3 after you've done your slip stitch. This is the beginning of row 3. Now this is the only part that might be confusing for you. You're going to do a double crochet right into this space over that slip stitch we just used. So double crochet into there. Okay, and it looks like this. It's a little messy right now, but when we get to the end, it'll cover it up really nice. Now for this row, all you do in each of these chain 1 spaces you made in the middle of your double crochet sets, you're going to be doing the same thing again. You're going to work your 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets. So all the way around, we're going to do that. So into your first chain 1 space, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. I was fighting with my yarn, so I had to unroll a whole bunch of it. So now it's getting all tangled. I apologize. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Just like that. All the way around this row, you're going to work that in each set. At the end of the row, there's a little bit of a different that you do just to make that last one mimic the rest. But the rest of this row and every other row, it's exactly the same as this. Absolutely simple. Working with bulky yarn can be a little bit tricky sometimes, especially keeping the spaces between your stitches the same size. I can show you the one trick that I use, but just be 1 sec to get to that spot. Okay, so when you get to the next one, because you want to work into this one here, you're going to do your double crochet. So slide this closer to there. So when you do your stitch, it gets rid of some of that extra space. So just slide it closer to your working hand. It's one good thing about fabric. You can always move it around. Okay, so for the next one, you do your double crochet. Put it through there in that chain 1 space, and see how I slid that closer and I closed this gaping hole area there. So it's closer together. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Like so. And now you've gotten to the beginning again. So you see right here, this is the initial slip stitch that you use to join at the end of the last round, and that we're treating as a chain 1. You're going to work a double crochet right over that. So bring it close, do your double crochet, do 1 more double crochet, and now slip stitch to the top of the initial chain 3. So slip stitch there, and it mimics the look of the other ones. Now the reason that this is a ponytail or knot hat is because of this. We can either whip stitch this closed from this edge down here, so you can whip stitch from here all the way to here, which is how you would do it for a regular hat. This space here will mimic the same spaces all the way up the back of the hat, so they'll all look the same. Or you can whip stitch just the 1, the 2, and the 3 closed. And then you will have a hole this large that you can stick your ponytail through. You can also do a slip stitch around this to finish it off to make it look nice and neat for the ponytail hole if you want, or you can leave it a little rougher like this. Once the hair is sticking through, you don't really see this hole anyways, depending on how they're wearing their hair. I didn't want to add a button there because when I had long hair, getting your hair caught around a button can be quite painful if you have it up in a ponytail or into a wrapped knot like at the back. So I'm not putting a button, but you sure could if you want to. If you're much more careful when you're taking your hats off than I used to be, you could simply put a button at this edge here because it will fit through. You've got large enough spaces that you could simply add a button instead to this part so they can undo it and close it whenever they'd like. Now, back to the project. So you have here now made your slip stitch at the end of the row. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now see that hole there that you made with the slip stitch, that's your chain 1 mimic. You're going to do your double crochet into that space, mimicking the look of the other stitches. And then to each chain 1 space around, we're going to do our 2 double crochets, a chain 1, 2 double crochets the entire way around the hat to the last stitch, just like we did last round. And you just keep working this way around the hat. I'll show you at the other end one more time. It's quite a simple project to make. And it will only take up one ball of the yarn. I have a matching scarf that goes to this hat pattern that will be released as the first crochet along scarf for the Scarf of the Month Cal for 2017. So if you're looking for that in the future, there is a pattern to match this hat, which needs 2 balls of yarn, of the same yarn. And I'll share that in a couple days. So 2 double crochets, a chain 1, oops, and 2 double crochets in each chain 1 space around. Now this hat does have open spaces, which I actually like. If a hat has a nice band that's thicker here that covers my ears, I do prefer having open hats at the top to let some of the heat out, because I find I get quite warm in the winter, but I do like to have my ears covered. All those layers with coats and stuff here. Coats, scarves, hats. Needs somewhere for some of the heat to come out, I think. So all the way around we go. Chain 1, 2 double crochets. We're back to the beginning, and then you look here and you find your slip stitch where you joined, and you work your the last 2 double crochets into that slip stitch, set space here, and once again you find the 1, 2, 3, the top of that chain 3 slip stitch. To close that mimics your chain 1 for the rest. After you've repeated round 3 2 more times and finished round 5, you are back at the beginning here after you've slip stitched to join. What we're going to do on this round to make it a little bit smaller at the top of the hat, so it's not quite so bulky when we're closing it at the top, we are going to be doing half double crochets instead. So begin with a chain 2 and 1 half double crochet into this space that you created with the slip stitch join. So you have 2 half double crochets in that space, and then for each chain 1 space around, work 2 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and remember the trick I showed you about moving this closer to this to decrease that gaping space between the stitch sets. So half double crochet. That'll help us tidy up the top of the hat to close it. And do that for the next stitch. So 2 half double crochets only in each of these around, each of the chain 1 spaces. At the end you will have 16 half double crochets. There is a full written pattern for this, so you can simply get a copy of that from my website as well, if it makes it easier to follow along with printed instructions. So 2 half double crochets into each chain 1 space, and we're back to the beginning. So remember, this is your first 2 half double crochets. You're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. Make sure you move them together or else you have a really big slip stitch. And now you're going to chain 1 and cut a fairly substantial tail of yarn, because because you're going to weave the top of the hat closed. So you cut your yarn and pull that through. Now get your yarn needle and weave. I'm going to weave in, and I'll show you how to do that quickly. We do it from the outside, the pretty side of your hat. You're going to only use these front loops, the loop closest to you when you're weaving under the stitches. So go under the first half double crochet, and now we're weaving, so we're going to go in and out, right? So we're going to come towards us under the next front loop. Find your next one, go away and towards under the next for each set. You do this all the way around to the beginning. Away, towards. And you do have to do each one. If you don't, it gives you a little bit that sticks out. I tried doing every other when I made the first hat, and it looked funny, so I don't recommend it. So that way, and then towards you. And we do this all the way around the top of the hat. If you forget where you start, pull the string, and you can see it'll tighten. So right here's where I started. So this one's coming towards me, so this one has to go away from me. Toward, away, and toward, and now pull to tighten, and it will close up the top of your hat like so. Now, because it's bulky and it's slippery, what I do is I go back under all the way around again, just to make sure I've got it nice and snug. So just under these loops that are standing out here. It's just so I can pull it again to make it a little tighter. You don't want the top of your hat falling open. So all the way around, and then I will go right through the center hole. I don't know if you can see that on the video or not. Right there. And I push that through, pull it from the inside of the hat. And now I flip the hat inside out, and I weave under these ones all the way around. Everyone knows I like to weave lots of extra yarn into things. Not so much that you can see or feel it, but so much that if something were to happen, there is some extra yarn tucked away that matches this hat. And secure this. And I'll go skip one because I came out through here. I'll go back under the one beside it. And I'll skip. And I'll skip, and then I'll go back around again once more to make sure it's secure. Once you have those through, you can finish it off. Put your hat the right way again. And now we need to deal with the beginning part here. So you have to decide if you're going to make this into a ponytail hat or if you're going to make this into a regular hat. If you're making this into a ponytail hat, take your yarn end. It's okay if you need another piece if you don't have very much left over. I always leave a little bit, but you don't have to. You can always add a new piece. And if you're making a ponytail hat, you're going to use your yarn and weave it down to the very beginning, and then we're going to just whip stitch it closed. I recommend going 2 or 3 stitches up at least. I would be tempted to do 4 because this will stretch. The hat will stretch as you wear it because all hats do. That's why we make them a little bit smaller than your head to start usually. So you can do 2 or 3 up, and then you'll have this section here left over for the hair to stick through at the back of the hat. like so. And you can certainly do a slip stitch around this if you'd like, or just leave it like this. I prefer it like this personally, and it gives it more stretch because we're not limiting the stitches. So right here, what you will do is go through this bit a couple times just to strengthen this section, because when they're putting the hair in and out, this is the part you're not going to want to let go. So I went through twice, 3 times, and then weave this in and out through your seam on the inside or outside, it's up to you. And finish it off, and you are done your hat. It's quite a simple project to make. It only invests 1 ball of yarn and less than an hour of your time. It's quite a lovely hat to wear. It's very soft and very cozy. And there's lots of colors available that you can use in this weight of yarn. So this is the one we just finished. This is the one in cream. And I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial and that you try this pattern. It's super easy, and there is a matching scarf you can also pick up as well, and they're both free patterns. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.